Ready?
Hello and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels Chat. This is episode 39-1. We're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Every week we listen to great video game music, but not today. This is our chat episode for now.
It is.
It is, yeah. So, what you been up to this week? This week particular?
In particular special. I've done, what did I do? I did a board game auction for charity. Gave them money. Family stuff. And trying to engage and prep myself for October, because when you listen to this, it will have been October, but it's not right now-ish. So I was trying to get myself prepared for that and see if I can get into the mood to actually engage with the spooky season, as it were.
Okay, yeah. How are you doing that?
Acquiring games that are supposed to be scary. I don't know, buying apple cider.
Yes.
Put in the fridge.
Okay, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Hot, cold, it don't matter.
I had a pumpkin spiced latte.
That's full.
Yeah, I was terrified.
Terrified of what? It's pumpkin spice latte.
I'm joking. It was Halloween.
Oh.
Yeah. What else? Well, I had some more pumpkin stuff. I just had a pumpkin beer. That's what it was.
No, that's scary.
I love pumpkin
because they can go either way.
They can. In fact, you were with us, I think, a week or two ago, and I had some left over, and I did not like it. It was pretty terrible, actually. I was not into it at all.
So that's your Halloween story to tell right there.
Yeah, right.
And then the pumpkin beer was grody.
And it was terrible. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was a problem. But that's okay. And they're not all great. The Dogfish Pumpkin Brew has been the best so far.
Well, the Dogfish Head doesn't surprise me in the slightest on that front.
No, well, the pumpkin beer the past few years I have not liked.
Do they change the formula or something?
Yeah, they do. I think they're a small brewery, so things change every once in a while.
So it's basically Mountain Dew Voodoo for beer.
Mountain Dew Voodoo?
Yeah. Oh, you don't drink soda. Mountain Dew Voodoo is a thing that Mountain Dew does every year. I don't even remember when they started it. It's been at least, feels like damn near 10 years now, where they come up with a mystery flavor and they release it during the month of Halloween or October in some countries. And at that point, you drink it, you take a guess at what it is. I think at one point it was a contest and the winner would get something, but otherwise it's just, hey, what do you think this flavor is? There's been Skittles flavored beer. Beer. I would drink that though. There's Skittles flavor soda. There was Airheads flavored soda. I can't remember what the other ones were because sometimes I didn't even follow it. I'm sure there's a thing out there somewhere I just list what each individual one was though, because the Mountain Dew connoisseurs will tell you.
So it's not like the Voodoo flavor. It's like the Airheads. Like
it'll be Voodoo 2020 or Voodoo 2021.
Okay,
and they number it.
And you have to kind of guess it. When do they tell you what it was?
Probably in November sometime.
Okay, so they wait till
at least till the end of the month. Like I still have a can from 2020.
Have you ever been genuinely surprised?
Not so much, because I'm already in the mindset of like all sodas are chemicals anyway. You can make anything taste like anything, really. If
You're like, oh, it's just really sweet, and I'm going to drink it anyway.
Well, no, I still try to guess. It's just
have you been surprised?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it can be. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, this is Skittles. In fact, I would say maybe if I had to say that and give a genuine answer, I would say maybe the first time I realized it was flavored after an already trademarked product.
Okay, that's true. So it wasn't, and it's always like within the Monster wheelhouse. It's going to be like, oh, this is Dum Dums flavored, not like, oh, this is peanut butter flavored.
I mean, I can't make that call. It very well could do that, but I would just say it would have to be a flavor that
hasn't been.
It has to be a flavor that they believe people would actually want to drink.
Yeah, that would make
peanut butter soda would turn off so many people. I'd be fine with it.
Of course,
most people wouldn't.
I would. I would love that. I use peanut butter powder in my protein drink.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Have you ever used peanut butter powder in your sparkling water?
No.
Might want to put that to the test then.
I could use the sparkling water next time though. Yeah. I tend not to because I don't like the bubbles.
Yeah, but now you gotta try it because you gotta put your money where your mouth is. I'll drink a peanut butter soda. Well, sparkling water plus PB powder.
Have you been watching anything scary on TV?
No. So I've had conversations about horror movies recently with some friends. Talk about what constitutes horror versus a thriller? And
that's a good question because I feel like things kind of go in between. We watched, what was that one we watched that had, anyway, go on. I'll remember the details later because if I try to do it right now, I'm not going to remember it.
So the idea was like, for example, we talked about what would Dead Alive constitute. Dead Alive is a horror movie.
Right.
Full out. But since the dialogue really started from like general serial killer films, it's like for the 80s and 90s, I had to pivot and say thrillers don't have to involve thrillers don't have to involve supernatural or anybody dying or whatever. It just has to be unsettling. Mm-hmm. I think that is the genuine vibe of a thriller. It just has to be unsettling.
Yes.
Potentially with some twists and turns for good measure. Like, even though the person dies at the end in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, most of that movie was just a crazy woman doing crazy things and the audience being shocked by it.
Yeah.
And that's a thriller.
Yeah, I feel like I just Googled like 2025 horror movies, and it is kind of in between thrillers and
typically a horror movie is going to also be a thriller. It's very rare that I think a horror movie would not be a thriller.
Exactly. And honestly, like I don't like to think that like slasher movies for me are like, I guess they're in the horror movie like world, but for me I don't find them scary. I just find them repulsive, which is fine. Some people love that, but for me I don't. I'm just repulsed by it. And so like in the context of a good thriller, a good gore scene, I'm like, ooh, damn, that was awesome. But like if the whole movie's like just gore, I'm like, I'd rather not. You know, I'd rather watch a behind the scenes like effects artist talking about how they did that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. Like Terrifier was a franchise that came up.
Yeah, that was one. I know about specific horrible scenes that I'm like, oh, I don't ever want to see that.
So I didn't even dig that deep.
I would rather just understand how that happened. But there's a few out there that are on my list to watch. Sinners, I do want to see. I heard that was amazing things about that one.
But then I guess that shows up on your horror movie pick, so I guess there's like horror elements to it.
Weapons is definitely on my list because it got so many good reviews and I don't know anything about it, but all I know is that it's a Pied Piper story and children go missing, and I don't know if I can handle that now.
I read the whole thing, so I read a synopsis. I'm covered for that.
Pretty amazing. Together was supposed to be really good. That's got
that's body horror for
Dan
sure.
Franco. That is definitely body horror, which is very interesting to me. But yeah, it's got to be a really specific. Like I can watch a horror movie, like I said, on a plane. I feel safe. Weirdly, I feel safe on a plane because I'm watching it on a small screen surrounded by people. I can watch this stuff. I can do that, but like otherwise, but I end up using that time to watch like really dumb superhero movies I would never normally watch.
I guess for me, most movies like that don't bother me anymore. Like my fear complex doesn't really kick in as it used to. I would say, like I had to have like.
You're drawn to the thriller, probably, right? Heretic was the one. Heretic, they said there was a horror movie. That was definitely a thriller movie.
I spoiled that one for myself too.
No,
I watched it. Never mind. I've actually seen that movie.
Yeah, Christy and I. It
annoyed me because the end was one of those ones like you believe it happened or it didn't.
Yeah, at that point, I really wish they gave me a conclusive ending because it's like it wasn't that kind of movie.
The funny part is it kind of is because the whole premise is them doing a back and forth about is your faith legitimate or not.
I mean,
and then in the end they're like, here's your time to test your faith. Do you think they got out or not?
And I get that, but at the same time, like that's the narrative, but in the language of the film, like it was definitely. They definitely could have given me more. Like the whole. You didn't see the movie, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's right. You did. The arc with Topher Grace was like
it was kind of needless. It was just there to give you that element. They might be saved. No, they weren't. I
mean, and all of these thrillers have that. Mm-hmm. Will they be saved? Won't they be saved? And it was just like boom, boom, in, out, done. I'm like, they had freaking Topher Grace. That guy's amazing.
That's probably why it was so brief. It's like we already paid Hugh Grant. We can't afford this cuckold too.
Probably.
We can afford a little Topher Grace.
A little Topher. Smile is one it's been on my list too. That was supposed to be really
Smile
fun.
irks me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, again, synopsed it, but it's one of those films where, again, kind of like how Final Destination works, in that there is no hope.
Right.
And someone came and told me later, well, actually, in Final Destination, there have been survivors. I'm like, okay, how many? There's like 3. Out of like 8 movies, there's 3 survivors.
Oh, yeah, they're all going to die in this movie.
Yeah, and chances are, they probably will kill the survivors.
Although I heard the latest one is like supposed to be awesome.
Yeah, probably because they like how they die. Like,
it's supposed to like combine like all of the movies together somehow into like this big thing.
Yeah, to kill the old survivors.
Kill the old survivors.
Like, again, like if for me a horror movie or a thriller or whatever, for it to really work for me, it needs to feel like they have a chance. So I guess if you were to sit here and tell me, well, the fact that there were 3 survivors across 8 or whatever movies indicates that there is a chance, I'm like, no. That's not what I'm saying, because the other thing that I feel like these films need is they need to have a logical way for you to beat the clock or to beat the system. Right. So
you have to. Well, that's the other thing. That has a lot to do with like supernatural movies in general. There has to be like a system that you can kind of like. Okay, in this world, this system works this way.
Yes, someone figures it out, and that's how they make it. That's how the survivors survive.
And
Nightmare on Elm Street. Think of that, for example, right? Nightmare on Elm Street as a character, Freddy Krueger seems impossible to beat. And essentially, he's not. He is, because he keeps coming back. But he kills you in your dreams, and your dreams are a manifestation of your thoughts. But in this universe, they have this whole dynamic where people learn to control the elements of their dreams so they can fight back within the dreams and pull them out of the dream. And they wrote this whole thing specifically to give them a logical way to survive and to win. Final Destination's premise is you cheated death and death wants you back. So death just does dumb crap to kill you.
Yeah, it will come get you.
Yeah, and it's never something straightforward. It gets to the point where it's like, well, you tripped over a cord. The cord pulled your ceiling fan down.
I know.
The ceiling fan smacked a buzzsaw that was hanging in the corner of the... Like,
I think the first movie was the best one. I think wasn't it the first one where the guy made like the broom that was like totally safe, where like he put like it was like childproofing the room. Mm-hmm. Like I was thinking about this when I was trying to childproof my house when I first moved here, when Ollie was like still like 12, 11 months old. And I was like putting foam stuff on all the corners. And in that movie, like, he had made the room, like, padded and all that. And he's like, I'm going to stay in this room, and nothing's going to kill me. And then, like, everything went wrong. Like, there was a leak, and then the leak hit, like, the electrical cord, and the electrical cord fell down.
Yeah, like, it has to straight up Rube
like,
Goldberg
it has to, yeah. Death is a Rube Goldberg machine that's going to kill him.
One last in this movie, they had the freaking lawnmower that drove over the guy.
Oh, I heard that's supposed to be pretty crazy. Again, people just like the thrill of the death scenes, right?
Yeah.
The other movie that before we finish talking about movies that I do want to see is I watched the TV Glow. Have you heard of that one?
No.
That
Never
one.
heard of that.
Yeah, I watched the TV Glow. It's about 2 kids, late 90s-ish. They become obsessed with a TV show from the early 90s, like a Buffy the Vampire type show.
Okay.
And they have it on VHS and they watch it every night. That's all I know from the beginning of the premise. And like weird stuff happens with the TV, and there's like
the show comes to life.
I don't know, but there's something with the TV, and there's something with the 2 kids.
Well, the thing is that the TV glows.
I'm going to turn my monitor. Since you have an incredible knowledge of video games.
I wouldn't go that far.
You do. You absolutely do. You just don't realize it. And you actually know horror movies, especially classic horror movies, way better than I do. Like way, way better than I do, because you actually watched them when you were a kid. Okay. So we're going to play a game here. We are going to play a game. This game is called
Saw.
Yeah. Would you like to play a game of chess? That's not Saw. Okay, this is I'm going to give you a movie franchise or a horror movie, and you have to tell me if they actually made a video game for it.
Okay.
Okay. Now a lot of these, we're going to start easy. like stupid easy,
Okay.
and then it's going to get weird. And I don't know if you're going to get all these. Every time I do something like this, you always get them.
I feel like this might be the one I failed in because there's always some weird like LJN backdoor game.
I will tell you, all of these games either except for the ones I'm trying to fool you with, have legitimate releases because there are like
games.
There are horror movies that got fan games, right? And I'll point one or two of these out to you. First one's easy. Here we go. Pernell, are you ready to play? Horror movie video game or no?
That was a lengthy title. I'm confused now.
Okay. Friday the 13th.
No, I never had a game. What are you talking about?
Wrong, Pernell.
First of all, you know damn well I'm not. Let's just let that go. There's been multiple Friday the 13th games.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
And licensed games where Jason just happened to be in the game as a guest character.
Yeah, he was just like, wasn't he in Killer Instinct? Or was it one of the Mortal Kombat?
It was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And he was also,
it makes sense for him to be in Mortal Kombat.
And that one survival game that they put out.
Yes.
His name is eluding me right now.
What was it called?
But it had a bunch of different
Not Dead by Daylight. Yeah, no.
That was Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. Okay. That's so sad. I only know these games from Let's Plays.
Hey, at least you know them.
Child's Play. Chucky.
No.
Child's Play. Did Child's Play have...
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Correct. Ding, 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 ding.
I would have bought that if it had a game. It would have been a stupid game, but I would have bought it because I liked Child's Play.
Telling you, man. You know video games. You know horror movies.
Overestimating, I'm telling you.
All right, here we go. Evil Dead.
Of course.
With Bruce Campbell, yes. PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're getting weird. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
Okay, I can't remember. Yes, it was on the PC. That's right. It was like a multiplayer game where it was isometric. Some people played as the Texas Massacre.
Which, as an aside,
some people played as the chainsaw.
So, as an aside, that's the other thing about horror movies. To me, the scariest ones are the ones that are the most plausible with fewest solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Wrong Turn, Hostel. Like, the solution to Hostel is don't go to a foreign country. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, but you never know until it's already there. Like, you might get a few signs, but then your human instinct will be like, well, it's not. It's in my head. I'm not seeing it. So maybe that's the other part. Trust your gut half the freaking time.
Yeah.
If it seems too good to be true,
Pernell,
it is.
You don't know if you're in a horror movie. You could be in one right now.
Well, is there any water dripping from the ceiling? I don't know.
No, is that the sign?
That might be one of them.
That's one of the signs.
Could be a sign your house is degrading to other world.
Is the handcuffs against the wall over there in the hatchet?
No, that just means you're into some crazy stuff. And
Yeah,
I'm not going to judge.
No. It just means I like to chop wood while handcuffed.
That just seems stranger than the joke
I thought chopping wood was too easy, so I thought I would make it a little
harder. You
harder.
wanted to give yourself a challenge.
Hard mode. The Blair Witch Project.
Yes,
you were correct. The Blair Witch Project did get a PC. Yeah, PC. Here's another one.
I feel like I've heard about it and was like mocking the existence of a game based on the Blair Witch Project.
There's actually a few movies. I think one or two movies, sequels on that one.
That seems even stranger.
The creators of the Blair Witch Project have a new movie that's coming out. It's not,
but it's not based in that universe.
Yeah, and it's not like that style, but it's something different.
And that came up.
I think it's a cool idea because just executing that style of movie back then that well, like I'm sure they got an eye for that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, but it came up when we were talking about these movies last night too. The fact that I both like and loathe the Blair Witch Project in that it created shaky cam, and as much as I dislike it in the wrong context, when it works, it does work. So I'm fine with it. But what I did hate as early as back then was everybody and their mom claiming how terrifying and horrifying the movie was. Not praising the technique, saying the movie's fine, but man, that technique was pretty good.
Yeah.
People were actively claiming like they pissed their pants watching it, and then I finally got to watch it, ready to get scared, and it felt like a documentary. Like it wasn't that it was, but it also felt like one.
I'll tell you
a horror movie, a documentary.
That's what it is, and also and hearing about it before going to see it does a lot to it because I heard all that stuff too, and then went to see it, and I was like, it was okay. It had a creepy ending. It could have been better, but I thought it was cool for what it was. I didn't know anything about The Ring, the Naomi Watts American version of The Ring. I didn't know anything about it except that it was just a scary movie to go see.
That was another one.
I left that night terrified out of my mind.
See, that's where you and I are very
And
different.
I still feel like, for me, that is the scariest thing I've ever seen. And it has nothing to do with the end of the movie. It has everything to do with just the video they watched. Just that opening scene with the video just creeped me out beyond anything.
I'll give you that. There's atmosphere based.
Oh.
Like, that came up last night, and that was another movie where I was like, I can't. Like, people
David
swore up and down how terrifying The Ring was, but it's a solvable movie.
Yeah, in the end, it was like, oh, it all kind of fits together. It's all solvable. But like, that atmosphere leading up to the ending was like...
It was unsettling.
It was almost too much for me. It was... I left that theater thinking, like, they had done some kind of science to figure out exactly what was going to scare someone like me, and like timed it just right.
Well, think of it like this. When you were a kid, you were a child.
When I was a child,
you got chain letters. Everybody got a chain letter as a kid. And they would always tell you better send that chain letter out, because if you don't, something bad's going to happen.
I've heard about this. I never got one. I've heard about that.
You never got one? Okay.
I remember chain emails.
Oh, well, no. Back in the day, there were chain letters. Like, you actually had to, that's what made them annoying. You had to write letters. So, the first thing you did as a kid was you investigated. You were like, there's no way this is true. Surely nothing bad will happen to me. And you start asking around. Has anybody else? I mean, because clearly, even as a kid, I was like, clearly someone else has had to dealt with this chain letter before me. Otherwise, how would I become one of the 7?
Yeah.
Right? So you start asking around. Anything happen to anybody that's in a chain letter up? No, what are you talking about? And you might get that one ass who's like, oh yeah, man, but they can't prove it. So
yeah, they're just trying to scare you.
They're just trying to scare you. Yeah. So in the end, you might do it one time where you do your 7 letters, but for the most part, you're able to verify that nobody died, no one got their leg broken, no haunted, nothing. So you drop it. And The Ring, internet existed by then.
Yeah, that's
News
right.
was rampant, and the woman was an actual like reporter type investigator character.
But it was still old enough where they were out like it seemed like they were like out in the Poconos like type area where like they wanted to watch a movie. They were still renting a VHS.
I do remember that, yeah.
And to me, that still made sense. And I was like, oh, of course. It's like an old school type thing. I'll get a VHS. Nowadays, it's like didn't they bring their Roku stick with them? Like, why didn't they do that?
If anything, the hardest part about The Ring as a film was like, for me, because I didn't have a double head deck back then, is finding a double head deck.
Oh yeah, double head to make copies of. Yeah, who did? I mean, like, I'm sure people did. Like, I had a double head cassette deck for audio, like for radio. And I used to love playing with that as a kid. So I don't forget the thread of thought here. We talked about movies with really good systems. It Follows.
Yeah, It Follows. That's a terrifying movie.
That was terrifying.
Even with knowing the system.
No, knowing the system was so perfect. It was so clearly laid out that by the end of the movies, you watch the characters all stop and discuss the system and try to figure out, hey, what can we do to figure this out and stop it, and then execute a plan, which of course failed. But it was like, I remember being in the theater being like, oh yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna
They're gonna stop it.
They're gonna.
No,
like, I was
you
like,
ain't.
it was just.
But I will say,
for me, it was like I had never seen anything like that happen, and it was just awesome.
But that may even be what makes It Follows one of the genuinely scariest movies.
Oh yeah,
it's because they solved the problem, but the solve never protects you, because that means you're doing a daisy chain effect. If I hope this guy doesn't get screwed, so this guy doesn't get screwed, this guy doesn't get screwed, until eventually it comes back to you, and you always have to be mindful.
It is a very similar to Final Destination, except that there's like kind of rules in place, or like to know what's going to happen leading up to it. But because it's still coming to you.
Well, that's the thing. But that's the thing, though. But Final Destination, again, I haven't seen every movie, so I don't freaking know. But
I've only seen the first one, and it was so traumatic. I was okay with that.
So, like Final Destination, death is hunting you. How does death do it? I don't know. He's just going to do it. It follows. They know it's going to appear as some apparition who's going to slowly approach you. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So they know that. Final Destination. How do you stop death? I don't know. We'll try whatever. But he always found a way to get you, or he always found a way to get you. It follows. How do you stop it? You pass it along. Yeah. Like, they know specifically the things you have to do.
Right.
The problem is it's a fallback that says you have to be dependent on everyone else that gets it doing the right thing. And we've come to learn as a society, you ain't getting that. So someone's going to drop the ball. And then you got to hope that when the ball gets dropped, the person next to the line is still paying attention. They didn't get comfortable, because if they do, they're going to get murked because they're not paying attention. And then it's going to come back and back. And then one day, oh crap, who's that dude over
great.
there?
I know. It was such a good play on the whole thing. Now that we're talking about, the difference between horror movies, the thrillers, where do you feel horror comedy fits in all of that?
It could be either way. I mean, you could have.
Would you consider
take Terrifier? People who've told me that Terrifier is funny.
Yeah.
Terrifier is disgusting, but it's also funny. A thriller can also be funny. The downside to a thriller being funny, though, is
it kind of takes you out of that.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes you out of it.
Some might say it's good to disarm you, and then they can set you up for the next shock. But the alternative is also, since I can feel this sense of levity, I never truly feel terrified.
You can have that happen, and it won't be a comedy. But like, was it Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Have you seen that one?
I'd want to. I've yet to see it.
Okay, that's like one of it's up there. It might be one of my favorite like funny movies, because it takes all of the horror tropes and just really plays them up. And it's also Alan Tudyk, who's hilarious in it. But yeah,
is he one of the two?
He's one of the two. Yeah, because this whole movie, you're seeing it from their perspective, and you're like, oh, these guys just want to have a weekend out fishing.
But all the teens are trying to kill them, right? Because they think that they're some kind of animal.
But all the teens, they come out there and they immediately typecast them as like, oh, they're the hillbillies that are out here trying to kill people. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we just want to like talk about our feelings. Essentially.
It's like they'll be running away from them and trip and then fall into a wood chip.
Yeah. By the end, it gets ridiculous. The way they die is like, it's almost like they're trying to. But up to that point, you're like, oh, it's just really bad circumstances over and over again, and they just have no idea what's happening around them. So I feel like it's comedy adjacent to horror, but you're never scared,
To me, in the end, though, the best films of that type, whether they're horror, thriller, or whatever, is that the kills themselves are used to effect of the narrative. They're not just there to give you freaking like a freaking bloodgasm or whatever. And the narrative itself keeps you vested in the outcome of the actual characters. Like, it's not just, here are some typecast people to be the dumb blonde or the nerd guy that hasn't gotten laid and is like, okay, I'm going to save everybody. Like, I want there to be well-written characters that are actively engaged in the situation, and the stakes are set up in such a way where I want them to make it. Obviously, I'm okay with the one guy who's the asshole. Was like, I can't wait for him to get it. But for the most part, I want them to have a shot. I want to feel like I want them to.
With a certain kind of horror movie, they have to give you at least one. Yeah, at least
the guy that has it coming. Hell, Until Dawn, which was interesting because that was a serial killer movie, or not a supernatural horror movie that you controlled everything, or you engaged it. And there were, at least from my recollection, none of the characters were truly likable. Some were more likable.
It was a movie
that... Though it was a video game.
Oh, video game.
But, quick time events, and you make choices here and there, and it determines who lives and who dies. But there were a couple of characters that were just like, God, if I weren't going for the achievement, I would let this person die, because they are just obnoxious in all the worst ways.
See, that's interesting when they put you in kind of mostly control, because like if you're paying attention, you can probably have them all.
Yeah, that's what happens.
If you're just paying enough attention.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's not even just that. Sometimes it's just making the right call. Like it might be something as simple as, okay, you might have seen the house earlier, like maybe 2 hours ago, and now they're being chased by the villain. and they get to a crossroads, and you're like, which way do you want them to go? You're like, okay, I can go to the boiler room, or I could go to the top of the mountain. Both seem pretty crappy. So you gotta just kind of be like, well, you are on the open. You have more of a chance of getting away instead of going to like a cramped boiler room.
Yeah.
I'm going up the mountain. And then you're like, crap, they wrote this in the way where it still isn't going to work.
Still not great. Yeah.
But for the most part, like you ever once when you get a choice like that where it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But otherwise, yeah, it's more like just paying attention and making a mindful decision. But even still, you might just make the bad call. Just like in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's the safest bet. You just got to make a logical guess and hope for the best.
Can you make 5 more good calls? I think you can.
Yeah, we'll just see.
All right, here we go. We're going into some more, I guess some older ones. An American Werewolf in London. You ever seen that one?
I've never seen the movie, so...
But have you played the game?
I don't believe the game exists, but I could be wrong here.
Okay, well, let's see what my research from last week told me. There is none.
Okay.
Yeah, there's none.
I can't even picture how that would be a game. That's the other part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I know the general premise.
Okay, that game, that movie was like late 70s or 80s, so I would imagine...
But didn't they get a remake?
That would have been... Oh, a few. Yeah, American Werewolf in Paris, I think was the 90s one. I remember seeing that. But that probably would have been like an LJN, like NES title.
Some kind of weird way to make it make sense. Like, okay, you're just running around London, killing girls you want to sleep with or whatever. I can't think of how that would be a game.
All right, you're up to 6. Poltergeist.
No.
Poltergeist actually had one on the TRS-80 color computer system. Tandy.
That's how you got me a friggin' Tandy.
A Tandy game.
So were you playing as Carol Ann or are you playing as the old psychic?
Who knows?
You can look it up. That's where your research
I watched video of it. I don't know. It's like how those games are. It's 3 separate games. One is it's an overview of a city. You're driving around streets collecting items.
I'm going to bet dollars to donuts it's not based on the movie because poltergeist is a word.
It is. It absolutely is because I saw the cartridge. The cartridge is like, and then you have to go up the steps. And the steps is like a Frogger game, and there's like a poltergeist chasing you, and you have to go up the steps.
Okay. There are several video games with poltergeist.
No. Look up Poltergeist TRS-80.
Now here it is. It says, in an older game based on the movie. This is some garbage.
And then the third one is you go into the closet, and you have to shoot the poltergeist that's coming out of you, but if the little girl gets in the way and you shoot her, you have to start over.
Caroline.
And it's actually pretty weird. It's weird enough that it gives a creepy vibe.
That is so random.
I knew there was only one way to catch you, and it was to go to a Tandy computer system.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right.
That's some Also, look at this picture. The fudge is this? This looks like the character from Adventure just like slapped over Riku.
It is. Well, it was a Tandy. This was old days.
There's some stairs.
Yeah, it was. You played it like Frogger. It was actually pretty interesting watching the playthrough. All right. Okay. The next game, Pernell. The Shining. Very popular. The Shining.
Very no. You play as Danny.
Yeah, the NA. There are a couple fan games because everyone's like, why isn't there a Shining game yet?
For good reason.
Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, I'm going to say that's tough because I know Dead Rising is based on it.
There's a lot of zombie games. I mean, Night of the Living Dead influenced a whole genre of zombie movies to begin with, let alone
and the
zombie
funny part is, I also believe it is ripe for a video game, but I don't think there is one.
You don't think there is one?
I don't.
You are correct. They never made a Night of the Living Dead, George Romero, actual video game based on that.
But again, I feel like that could have had a game. Like, the funny part about it is the zombies in Night of the Living Dead are the classic zombie, which makes them very terrible obstacles. The reason why Dead Rising made it work is because they became obsessive. They basically went ridiculous with the number of zombies that could exist in a single mall.
Yeah, I feel like they had like a tech demo of how many things they could have on the screen, and they were like, oh, those could be zombies. And it was fun.
And even in that game, just like Night of the Living Dead, the movie, the zombies aren't the adversary. They're just an obstacle from getting you where you want to actually go. The humans are the obstacle or the real enemy in Dead Rising, and they're the real enemy in Night of the Living Dead. So people might disagree with me on that. They're wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
at the end, I remember I saw the original, but I don't remember a ton of it. The thing I remember most about the end, though, is that the people were holed up in the house. Everything goes to crap because the humans don't trust each other and things get screwed up. And the final survivor does what they should have done from the very beginning. They just walk out the front door, walk down the street slowly. That's the movie. It's like, because the zombies were never a threat in that context, and the metaphor is that you're pretty much one of the dead now too, because you're just roaming.
Yeah.
But they were never a big deal. You can walk past them.
Well, it was interesting that those zombies were a metaphor for people becoming like soulless zombies to consumerism, where the 28 days later, like fast, crazy zombies were like, now that we're all zombies, to being like hyper,
lax and lazy, I guess.
No, the opposite. Where we're super like inflamed by the news and by what's going on in the world.
The rage virus.
That were really easy to inflict that upon. So that's what that zombie's based on. You know?
I didn't even think about that, but that makes sense. It was the rage virus.
Yeah.
Get angry and frustrated, and you're just raging at whatever's nearby.
Okay, so the last one is the Munsters.
No. I bet that. Wait. I bet there's one on some the Commodore or some crap. So I'm gonna say yes. Just
you
because.
said no.
Nope. It's yes.
Yeah, it's on the DOS. There's a DOS Munsters game, and it was on the MSX.
I had a feeling like some nonsense. Like in the Munsters game, you are square protecting a circle from a rhombus. I don't know, because again, the Munsters by premise makes no sense to be a game, but then again, the Jetsons had Super Nintendo games where George is somehow now doing a hop and bop space adventure.
There was that one Sunsoft Addams Family game where you play as Uncle Fester.
Fester's Quest.
And that was before the movies even came out. Like they just got the properties to Addams Family, and they're like, hey, we could do something with that.
Let's just say Uncle Fester stops an alien invasion, because of course he would.
Yeah, he would. I mean, he would probably hang out with the aliens and have a good time.
Exactly. That's what the actual Addams Family would do.
Yeah,
they would be friends with the aliens.
They would be friends with the aliens. They'd be like, hey, you don't have to take over the world. Let's party.
Yeah. That's the real. In fact, I've never beaten the game because the hell with that game, but maybe that's what the actual ending is.
I bet it is, yeah. Eight out of 10.
No, 9 out of 10.
Oh yeah, 9 out of 10.
I only missed one.
9 out of 10. I still call that a fail. Actually, it's a pass. There's a pass-fail system here on Rhythm and Pixels.
No, there's no such thing. It is a pass, and I only missed that one gobbledygook joke when you did.
Gobbledygook joke one. The
Poltergeist, where the freaking town looks like Adventure, and that's. Even E.T. at least looked like E.T. That I looked at those pictures.
Well, okay.
That game is clearly someone saying, just stack some squares together.
E.T. has a memorable, franchisable character in it. Poltergeist does not.
It has a poltergeist. It has the old man. Was he in the first movie or was he only in the third?
Never seen the movies.
That's where we're at. That's a problem for both of us then.
Pernell, I've only played the video game.
That's even worse. I've only seen Poltergeist 2 and 3. That we learned last night. I've never seen the first Poltergeist.
All right, Ghostbusters. Is this a horror movie or a comedy movie?
It's a comedy thriller.
I think it's an adventure comedy. I think there's no horror at all.
No, there's no horror. It's thriller. There's still jump scares in it.
Yeah, in the original, there's still jump scares.
They got more lighthearted as the franchise went on.
The that opening scene in the library, which to this day I think is hilarious and like one of the most brilliant cold opens of any movie. As a kid, it scared the dickens out of me.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't handle it. We went to
with the exception of Slimer, they made the ghost look pretty terrifying.
Pretty crazy. We went to a drive-through to see like a rescreening of it when I was a kid. It must have been like 86 or 87. I don't know. I couldn't have been that old, but I remember it. So I remember going to see that in a drive-through. Sit in the back. We popped popcorn and put it in these big brown bags. Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
I miss drive-thrus. They still exist, but they're far and few between.
Yeah. I don't think they own everything.
Do you have a favorite horror movie franchise?
Do I have a favorite? I gotta tell you,
It
I
could
don't.
be old stuff too, because obviously.
Aliens.
Okay, so
It's-
Aliens counts.
But I don't know. I mean, is it horror?
Horror, thriller, it doesn't matter.
So like, I liked the first one. I felt like was kind of a horror movie.
Mhm.
The second one was like an action movie, which I was into. I have to rewatch the third one. It's been a long time. And then the fourth one was like an action movie. And then I watched. I watched on a plane. It was Alien Romulus or something, and it was a straight up. It felt like a slasher movie. Like at one point, I was like, "Oh, this is great! Like it's interesting." And there's like kind of like creepy, gory stuff going on. And then at one point, two characters are like, "Oh, finally, we have a break. Let's go have sex."
I had a feeling you were going there.
And then immediately, like they get killed, and I was like, "Oh,
traditional."
like that's way too traditional for aliens, isn't it? Like this
It
shouldn't
is.
have happened." Like.
Yeah,
Like-
usually aliens seem like they were a bit of a smarter horror thriller
Yeah,
franchise.
or at least more focused on like the sci-fi element.
Yeah.
But I still like it because I like sci-fi stuff more than anything. So I would just be into that. What about you?
So I'm going to be niche in that sense because I've seen a lot of like movies that were like one-offs that are like, this is really cool. But as far as franchises go, I think it's pretty much still Nightmare on Elm Street for me.
Yeah.
Like, I never saw the first movie. I saw the second through the sixth. I saw the third through the sixth in the theater. I saw the second at home as a kid. I probably shouldn't have watched it, but my parents didn't care. And I did not watch Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I probably should, though I've heard mixed things about it. But I liked Freddy being humorous, honestly, because I never really felt truly scared. But the concept is what made it scary to me.
Right. Yeah.
So, and also I liked that the dreams were always imaginative. So it wasn't necessarily like, oh man, those teens are having sex at Crystal Lake. Jason's gonna get them. It was more like, okay, what is this person afraid of? And how are they going to frame this scenario where Jason takes advantage of the fear to result in the kill? Like the one woman in the fourth movie, or was it the fifth? I can't remember. Anyway, there's a woman who was all about self-defense and getting stronger, and she was like lifting weights, and then Freddy like messed with her while she was lifting weights, and then turned her into a roach and crushed her in a roach motel. Like, very weird and imaginative. And the whole time this was happening, the other people were trying to rescue her, and I guess I can't remember if they fell asleep or something happened, but they basically got stuck in an infinite loop of driving there. Like, they kept showing the scene of, like, getting in the car, go, get out of the way, I'm driving. And they just showed that. It's like, why are they showing this over and over again? And at one point, the character goes, did we do this before?
Oh, see, that's clever. I think that's pretty clever. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did that. Like, eventually, they got kind of hacky. Like, the one kid that got killed by him wearing the power glove, killing him in the Nintendo game. Like, that was just weird. He's like, now I'm playing with power. He did do that. But the kills in those were always entertaining to me. Watching him, having the writers come up with ways for it to happen.
Right.
And then, of course, having them come up with new MacGuffins every movie to go, how do we stop Freddy this time? Well, my child is attuned to him, and he's got a powerful dream energy.
Yeah.
So I like those a lot. And then aside beyond that, it ends up being one-offs. Like Night Cabin in the Woods
That was fun.
is probably
Yeah, that
my
was a good
favorite
time.
of all time because it does a great job playing with the tropes.
Yeah. That's another one I didn't know much about. I just knew that it was going to be subversive.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually watching it was like, oh, this is way different than I expected it to be.
And I'm one of the very few people, as I also kind of learned last night, that actively liked Stephen King's The Mist movie rendition.
Oh, that was good.
I loved it. And
Also very surprising. Was not expecting that, I think.
exactly. Partly why I liked it. Like, they kind of got a little heavy-handed when they showed the woman he watched leave on the truck driving by. That was heavy-handed. But it actually taught some lessons.
It also gave you an actual Stephen King ending. Stephen King thrillers and horror books don't end well for anybody.
And the book that I thought they added that for the movie, though. Did it actually end that way in the book?
I'm pretty sure it's worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah, which is why the Long Walk, which is the new one that's out right now, is another Stephen King short story. You know that's not going to go well for anybody.
I did read the synopsis on the book. I do wonder how they would have done that ending in the movie, though.
But Mark Hamill's in that. That's exciting.
In The Long Walk?
Yeah, he plays like this crazy drill sergeant guy.
Oh, he's the guy that's monitoring the walk there.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So you know the premise of it, right?
Well enough, but yeah. I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably get to the next episode, right?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, everyone. So this has been good. We talked about scary stuff.
But in the event you listen to this episode and you give a crap about getting on board and doing some gabber, come on to the Discord and let us know what your favorite horror movie or thriller movie or franchise or whatever is, because it would be nice to talk about classic or modern horror or thriller movies.
Hop onto the Discord at rhythmandpixels.com. There's a link to our Discord there. Get into honestly, it doesn't matter what channel you go on. All of the channels are suggestions.
And for those who aren't down with this stuff, we're talking you game fan. It's totally fine to talk about some like the campier stuff too, like the Ghostbusters. I think that can also count as like campy.
The horror comedy stuff, like the actual not comedy and not like the gory stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of those out there.
Did I finish it? No, the last Ghostbusters movie that had the newer one with Paul Rudd in it.
Oh yeah, that was like Frozen. That was like Frozen something.
Oh, there was
Frozen Empire was the second one of that.
Yeah, the first one with Paul Rudd, I thought was really fun. Like it wasn't. It felt Ghostbustery because it was fun.
But what was it called? Was it just called Ghostbusters? Or they had like a tag.
The New Bunch. I don't know. Something.
Okay, this isn't Gremlins.
The Resurrection. It was something like generic, but it was fun. It made a lot of sense.
Which, by the way, think about that for a second. The fact that Steven Spielberg's Gremlins was originally meant to scare people. And instead it became this cuddly mascot.
I still haven't seen Gremlins either.
Ever?
No.
I
have a blind spot. I haven't seen like Jaws. I haven't seen Gremlins.
Gremlins as a kid was like a staple.
I know. I mean, I've seen, and I know Gizmo. I know the rule. Don't feed him after midnight.
That's right. Don't do it. Don't feed him after. Don't get him wet. I think the get him wet was the worst rule.
Yeah, you gotta remember that. But yeah, I haven't seen that. But anyway, hang on our Discord. We're talking movies. We're talking games. And it's a very chill place to hang out and chat about things because we do not blow up your notifications.
That is true.
We will not. All right, we'll see you next week on Rhythm and Pixels.